Good morning, people. How's everyone doing today? Good morning, good afternoon, depending wherever you're from. It's 10:30 here, our time. And yeah, I see. Good morning, crypto friend Alexander, Jared Stull. Good morning, all. Let's go. Daywood saying it's afternoon down here, so I guess so. Um, uh, Let me know. Let me see here. Okay, perfect. So I guess my voice is working. Let me know if there's any audio issues or something like that. But let's get into this, guys. So I was gonna keep this very short. Just to update you on the market quick. Just a quick morning update. Overall, we will talk about Bitcoin's bearish sentiment in the market right now. Obviously, with us dropping below the 36, or I mean, like at least we peaked down all the way to the 34,000. Today we're seeing a bit of movement. Just the past. I would say what here. Let's just see. Maybe yeah, like we're looking at the hourly chart, we'll see a bit of the support we had with Bitcoin today in the morning. Still nothing crazy. Everything is in the limbo. But overall, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the economy. Just get a bit of my coffee here. We're going to talk about stock market being down, inflation talks, what's happening with interest rates, and how the whole economy is kind of in the limbo. On the other side, though, the dollar currency index is, it's a bit up, so that also tells another story. I'll talk about that. We're gonna talk about some bullish news out there as well with Goldman Sachs wrapping up their Bitcoin trading, some on-chain metrics, DEXs, crypto users also will soon be able to buy and sell tokens at major supermarket chains, which is pretty nice to see. And crypto miners eyeing cheap power in Texas, but fears aired over impact on the grid. So we're going to talk about all of that. Everything is all correlated. Obviously, we've been asking for adoption for the longest time. And with adoption comes a lot of, of the risk inherited in the economy itself, with everything right now, with everything, all the money being printed, inflation, everyone being scared, all these big investors having their own outlook on the market, and that's where the big money is also for crypto. So whatever's happening in the economy is definitely correlated. Bitcoin's price action is definitely correlated with what's happening in the price and the market. So without further ado, we can just talk about the charts, and maybe at the end here, if you guys have any questions, if you have any charts you want me to take a look at, if you're wondering where Brendan is, Brendan's in deep trenches, the crypto space right now, trying to get more and more information. So just a bit more research, I guess. But again, we'll probably go live again later on today with Brendan on the live stream. So let me know. Seeing some of the comments. What do you have here? Good morning and love from Brazil. Fernando, thank you. I've come here to shamelessly shill the token I'm in. Good morning, all. Morning from Los Angeles. Wow, we got people from everywhere. Are you asking or telling? Asking what? Christopher. And I guess Butt Scratcher is saying both. This so bottom. My friends also tell ETH go back up already. So let's get into this, guys. If you like the live stream, I didn't say anything, but if you like the live stream so far, make sure you like it, share it if you want to share it with anybody. And yeah, so let's get into it right now, guys. So everyone's talking about the whole economy being down. A couple of things we need to discuss as well right now. Overall, with the pandemic and everything, and lockdowns, everything, everyone's looking at the economy's kind of, we're reopening. But then again, all the inflation, all the dollars being printed, obviously are affecting those big investors, and they're looking for new ways. Obviously, even gold as well. Everyone's arguing whether it is actually going to bring the returns that are expected or no. And of course, Bitcoin is also jumping in the picture. So overall, stocks are down, inflation, higher interest rates. If we're looking here, a couple of days ago, we had there's the hawkish Fed comments pushing Bitcoin price and stocks lower again. Bitcoin price dropping a leg lower and stocks slumping after Federal Reserve President James Bullard signals that interest rates could rise by the end of this year. And that's obviously to hedge against inflation. Too many dollars are being printed at the moment. And to hedge against that, they hired their interest rate, the Federal Reserve, to kind of make spending and borrowing and lending money more and more harder. So to kind of hedge against the dollar actually losing its value. So Bitcoin and the wider financial market face a new wave of selling on June 18th following comments from James Bullard, the president of the United States Federal Reserve Bank. That's yesterday, indicating that he's expecting the first interest rate increase to happen in late 2022, which is an earlier than what they said actually a couple of days before that. So comments were even more hawkish than Wednesday's comments from Fed Chair Jerome Powell, who indicated that the rate hikes would come in 2023. And those comments triggered a sell-off across financial markets as the US dollar gains strength. And data from Cointelegraph Markets showing that the dollar was strengthening. Bitcoin bulls were overwhelmed by sellers, triggering a decline to a daily low of 35,000. So we all witnessed that. And the whole market was kind of bleeding. Obviously, we're going to talk more about the chart here, but just something for you to actually, you need to know all of this for you actually to have a better picture of what's happening in the market. And if you're just looking at the chart itself, or obviously at one point crypto space was separated from the market, I would say, but now with more and more adoption on those big corporations and institutions coming in, big investors that we're all we've been waiting for, mainstream adoption. The effect of the economy is going to become greater and greater on crypto, specifically Bitcoin. And we're seeing that. So the uniform sell-off across a variety of assets, including stocks, gold, and cryptocurrencies, has further eaten away at the narrative that Bitcoin is an uncorrelated asset. Everyone's talking about Bitcoin, it's such a separate thing. It's doing its own thing. It's not correlated to the market, but it actually is. As we can see, billions are being poured into Bitcoin. And we're seeing that happen. So as data shows that Bitcoin's correlation with both gold and stocks has continued to increase throughout 2021. So we're all expecting a good year, a good reopening, but this is a bigger year than we were expecting, more inflation than we were expecting. We think it's natural that we've tilted a little bit more hawkish here to contain inflationary pressures. So that's obviously just driving the whole market down. These comments from the Federal Reserve and talks about interest rates and all that. It's not just because Bitcoin is not good. It's not because there's a whole obviously everyone's talking about the death cross, Wyckoff distribution, and a bunch of other things. But if you're not talking about what's happening in the economy, in my opinion, you're really missing the bigger picture. If you're not talking about what's happening with the crypto mining in China and how a lot of those miners are actually going to Texas, hopefully at one point the the hash rate and the mining power for Bitcoin actually starts to get absorbed by the European market, by the North American market, or whatever the case might be. We're seeing that slowly start to transition. Some of these migrants are migrating to Texas because there's less and less, I wouldn't say regulations, but more, it's not as much as in China. You have a lot of, and those 4 provinces, a lot of coal mining, and it's pretty cheap. And that's where 60% of all mining power is coming from China. China starts to crack down, and that was literally exactly as soon as we started breaking from this high. That catalyzed the price action downwards with the hash rate dropping, and then again everything is factored in. So right now we're sitting here. We had a break above this wedge. At one point, dropped heavily to the 30K. We know it's a high accumulation zone. Supply and demand met at that point. We've been saying that. You're probably very bored of it. We say it every day, but it's pretty important. Supply and demand squeezed exactly at the 34,000, and you'll see how as soon as we broke above that, we dropped back down, and you see the closing prices on the daily. So the price action did peak all the way down here, but the closing action was actually exactly where the supply and demand met before, where it catalyzed the price action upwards. So a lot of accumulation happened here between the 36,000 all the way down to the 30,000. And everyone, this is a very bearish pattern. We're downtrending into a wedge. You're expected to, as soon as you drop below it, to downtrend literally right out of it, and it did. but did it stay there for long? A lot of liquidations happen. It is an accumulation zone. Big corporations are buying here at these price levels, but do we have enough buyers to not let us go past it? We need to see that. And that's what we're going to talk about as well in terms of on-chain metrics, and how there was a capital rotation between from weaker hands to stronger hands. That's also shown in the SOPR, which is the spent output profit ratio, showing you that just the coins that were bought and sold in the past whatever time, where they sold at a profit or where they sold at a loss. And that also tells us what's on average happening in the market. Is the majority of the market now back at a zero level, where usually it's a good opportunity to buy the dip on, where the whole market profit to loss ratio is reset to zero. So there was just only rotation. Are we going to continue to go to negative? We're not sure, but we're just trying to see how that plays out. But anyways, so yeah, increased rates by the end of this year. We're seeing here, if maybe I go down, what do we have here? So yeah, overall, more than a year later, Bitcoin stock market, so namely the US Central Bank announced Wednesday it will start hiking its benchmark interest rates by the end of 2023. And this is what we saw here. This is just the chart showing the S&P, Bitcoin, and Nasdaq. And as soon as the pandemic hit, we're seeing that correlation, just the whole market kind of thing. The market crashed with Bitcoin, S&P, and the Nasdaq. So right now, we're looking here. Overall, Willy Woo, if you guys don't know who he is, just an on-chain metrics analyst, very good insight on the market. We're just saying basically some downside risk if stocks or stonks tank, a lot of rallying in DXY, so USD strength, which is typical of money moving to safety. So that's what we're saying here. So if you're looking here, we're seeing that the actual, so Bitcoin is down, stock market is actually down, everything, all the indices, the major indices are down except for the DXY, which means that now people are preferring to have the US dollar at their disposal. So they're moving more and more into safety, overall, it's a risk on, if it's a risk on market, everyone's going to stocks, everyone's going into whatever, they're in. And if, there's looming interest rate talks and the market's crashing, everybody takes their money out. So it's like a transition period of, all right, let me just chill on the outside for a bit here. The S&P really went up here since, what do we have? Since the crash we had February. And yeah, just continue to move upwards. I think in terms of percentages, what do we have here? Yeah, closer to 90, I think 95%. So let me take my money out. I prefer the dollar right now. And then am I moving into gold? Am I moving into Bitcoin? A lot more speculative investment for these big guys. We need to see. So that's what we're having right now. And overall, yeah, it's showing you that with that adoption of Bitcoin is more and more correlating to the market, which is actually a good thing. I know it's bad that we're seeing that decline in price action. Again, at the end of the day, remember that this, I guess, quote unquote, this random coin that's not visible, that you can't hold in your hands, that there's no way for it to combat gold as a store of value, is actually sitting right now at 36,000. Even if we drop back down to the 20K, it's a 20K coin, right? So just a perspective on how this, I think overall we're in a financial revolution that we're all witnessing. And yeah, just like how Amazon started as a library online, where you buy books, when everyone's saying, how the hell are you going to buy a book online? What do you mean you're going to pay online? Use a credit card to pay. Where's your money going? You're just sitting in front of a screen. You're going to get an order after. You can order stuff. You can order food online. Yeah, so that's what we're witnessing right now. It's a financial revolution, in my opinion. And Bitcoin might not be it. If the global economy doesn't like it, then they just don't like it. But we're seeing more bullish news and bearish news out there. So we need to see how that plays out. If it's not Bitcoin, is it Ethereum? Is it something else? Everyone's talking right now about, if you saw our live stream, a lot of these big banks talking about international settlements, proposing hybrid and intermediated CBDCs, central bank digital currencies. Are they going to combat Bitcoin by central banks having their own, digital dollar? Is that going to happen? These are all questions we need to ask ourselves and not be too naive to what's happening in the market, because that's the world we're living in. That's the same thing. A Bank of International Settlements, they had a paper out, some authors, researchers talking about how are we gonna, we do like the technology. China's looking, they're leading the market with their own central digital currency. What are we gonna do here? How are we gonna settle all these payments? I think there's a huge demand in the market. All these clients are, phones are constantly ringing. These big banks trying to, get on this and see is Bitcoin gonna bring or crypto gonna bring more returns when the market is crashing or the dollar is falling in terms of its value? Is Bitcoin gonna hedge against that? Some people want to diversify into it, and we're seeing that. So I'm not gonna go into it right now, but we've been talking about it for a while. So market's polarized, and you got to keep that in mind. Economy is on the verge of falling if we don't keep an eye out on that. That's 100% gonna catch you off guard. But anyways, what do we have next here? Let me see what people say. Bitcoin to 40K. The bulls are here. Liquidate the shorts, and the bears are out. That's what Hash Brown's saying. I guess so. Let's see if that's the case here. Smash the like button, Ruby. Again, guys, if you like the live stream so far, make sure to like it or share it. If you're new, if you haven't really subscribed, make sure you do so as well. We do this every day. Give you a quick market update so you don't have to do the research on your own. So again, I guess maybe we'll switch now to Goldman Sachs. That's what we're having right now. A bit of a more bullish news. Goldman, I don't even know if it's bullish fully because 2017, if you guys remember, or if you're new, then you probably don't, but that's why we're here. 2017, right at the peak, here Goldman Sachs started their own trading desk, I guess, for crypto. And right after we had that crash, and everyone's saying, oh, as soon as Goldman Sachs starts to get involved, expect the whole market to go down. In my opinion, this is just one data point. If you heard the live streams, in my opinion, looking at Bitcoin cycles, looking at the supply and demand and the halvings, sure, gives us a bit of an idea, but we're using that because it's the only data point we have. It's the only history we have for Bitcoin cycles. 2017 Bitcoin bull run. But then again, circumstances right now are a lot different. Banks are talking about central banks' digital currencies. Were they talking about that back in 2017? How do you factor that into the price action here, right? So when we see a lot of these, I'm not, I guess, quote unquote hating, but I'm very critical of that analysis of Bitcoin, cycles and how the market moves, and we always constantly compare to 2017. In my opinion, this is a completely different chess game right now, and we have major powers such as China, US, Russia, and all these other countries now. We're having a bit of a domino effect with El Salvador starting at first, accepting as a legal tender. So how do you factor all of that into the price action? It's not the same condition. It's not just a Bitcoin cycle economy. There's a lot more going on, and you got to keep that in mind. There's a lot for you to know. So overall, get back to Goldman Sachs here. Where is it at? Right here. So Goldman Sachs ramping up Bitcoin trading in a new partnership with Mike and Novograd's Galaxy Digital. The bank has begun trading Bitcoin futures with Galaxy Digital, the crypto investment firm founded by Mike, our boy Mike. CNBC has learned exclusively. As more banks allow clients to trade Bitcoin, the depth and breadth of the market improves, which ultimately should lower Bitcoin's famous volatility, according to Galaxy Digital's co-president. So Goldman Sachs' efforts to help hedge funds and other big institutional clients wager on Bitcoin having taken a step forward. The moves by Goldman, the preeminent the global investment bank, may reverberate on Wall Street. So we're going to see, again, it's like a domino effect. Big banks start to come in. Everybody, I don't want to use FOMO when it comes to banks, but when the big guys start to come in, it's like safety in numbers. Right? Other banks start to come in as well, as more and more client demand increases for this. So the moves by Goldman, preeminent global investment bank, may reverberate on Wall Street and beyond as banks increasingly face pressure from clients who want exposure to Bitcoin. By being the first major U.S. bank to begin trading cryptocurrency, Goldman is essentially giving other banks cover to begin doing so as well. And yeah, that's what, I don't know if it's Vanderwilt or Wanderwilt, former Goldman partner who joined Galaxy last year. So everybody, every time, every debate you see about Bitcoin versus gold, or Bitcoin is actually something, is it just a bubble, or is it actually something to stand by? The volatility is always a talking point that gets brought up, right? It's a very slow transaction, and it is extremely volatile. So how are you comparing it to gold? So obviously, because it's driven mainly by retail. If Elon says something, the whole market is in shambles. And yeah, what do we have here? It just was yeah, sure. The whole yeah, so it's mainly driven by retail. It's mainly driven by young people with extreme leverage, right? Now, when the big guys come in, you will see more and more, less and less volatility, which is actually good in my opinion. Look, we had a nice run. You got in the bottom. If you got in the bottom of Solana, Helium, Theta, I'm just literally picking up random stuff here. 1 inch. If you got on the bottom, good job. If you took your profit at the top here, good job, because with all that adoption, we can't just accept adoption without less gains. When these big guys come in, it's in their interest to have Bitcoin move slowly in terms of price action, just like with gold, right? They don't want extreme volatility because volatility is scary. People want security, especially big money, right? They want security in terms of investment. And with lower transactions, with those slower transactions, are you going to be somewhere? Let's say if you want, you have $1 billion or $1 million, or whatever the case might be in crypto right now, and you want to take it out, it's going to take a day, 2 days, 3 days. How long is it going to take for your actual order to actually get through? And with volatility, there's a whole risk. We see this happening within 1 day here. Looking at it, let's say 56, all the way down here, 11% drops like it's nothing within the day. So people are definitely scared of that. But we need less and less volatility. Obviously, if we want crypto to continue, and we should not be naive when it comes to how the market and how the real world actually works. So I'm ranting too much, so my bad, guys. But I just want to make sure you actually understand what's going on. There's a lot of factors in this. If you want to be a smart investor, smart trader, or whatever the case might be, you really need to know this. And it's boring stuff as well. So it all depends on how long you're willing to listen and actually read up on that. So again, that was the Goldman Sachs, I guess. So there's a whole dynamic with the major banks that I've seen time and time again. Safety in numbers. Vanderwilt said this week in an interview, once one bank is out there doing this, the other banks will have fear of missing out, and they'll get onboarded because their clients have been asking for it. So I guess something to keep in mind here. Overall, right now, I would say if you don't know who Willy Woo is, actually check him out. Pretty good insights overall on the market. The main thing he was talking about, everyone's asking, are we in a bear market? Are we in a bull market? When when I hear that question or someone asks that, it's like you having such a complex thing in front of you. Let's say if you're flying a plane or whatever the case might be, and you're asking, hey, how do I steer? Just if I want to go up, do I just just pull the lever just towards me or down, or do I just go right or left? When such a complex thing that you need to have so many inputs and variables that actually drive it. So again, when someone asks is it a bull or bear market, you got to be willing to listen through all these metrics and see what the regulations are telling us. So overall, for that question, I guess saying the first thing you need to look at is the answer: are we in a bear market? Bear markets start with no new buyers enter support price, and that's not happening. We have healthy growth of new users joining the network, and we're seeing that happen again here. The 7-day moving average with entities net growth, with addresses and more users actually jumping into the actual server, the Bitcoin server, and that's showing the increase. So if we're in a bear market, you want to see this just slump, just completely go. But we're seeing increased influx of consumers into the market. Overall, again, another metric. What is it? Stablecoin ratio oscillator. So of primary interest is capital rotation from stablecoins back to the crypto market. saying that's mainly Bitcoin, since altcoins are reducing in dominance, which we're seeing. If we're going here to Bitcoin dominance, seeing that while Bitcoin is dropping, we reached very low levels here at the 39. Been dropping ever since, what do we have here, since January, since the beginning of the year. Altcoins have been gaining more and more dominance. We saw that again with Ethereum. Ethereum's been gaining more dominance. Bitcoin went all the way down here, and now obviously if you're in some random coin, if you're in Dogecoin, if you're in even 1inch or VeChain, you're probably taking your money out a lot faster than these long-term holders or hodlers that Bitcoin has. Bitcoin's been since 2013. We have people that jumped in way at lower prices. It's only the people that jumped in at the top here the past 6 or 7 months that are actually selling heavily, right? And that's what he's saying. Rotation of capital from weak hands to strong hands. So that's what we're going to get into, is that people that got in here the past 1 to 6 months are the ones that are selling. And these coins are rotating back to long-term holders' wallets, right? So you can't ignore that. You can't ignore that when the mainstream, when everybody and their mom we're talking about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, people start getting the hype here. We've been in crypto for a while, guys. If you've been in crypto for a while, let me know how long you've been in crypto here, just to see what people are, or how long you've been in it, or if you're down or up or whatever the case might be. But we need to understand that even while Bitcoin, we're looking at it here since October, for a while we're looking at it continue to rise, and no one was talking about it except for the crypto community, right? As soon as we got to the 20K, pushed above it, if you guys remember, still not much in the news, still all of us excited, blah blah blah. Not until we started hitting here, January, when Elon came in, then we go all the way up. Bitcoin was being talked about everywhere, CNN, whatever major news outlets here. That's when the average customer or the average investor that wants to jump on the hype got in, right? And that's where a lot of those on-chain metrics are telling us that these guys sold. They're not used to the volatility like we are, right? And yeah, we're seeing accumulation happening. Billions are being poured into Bitcoin right exactly here at these price levels. But again, we need to see do we have enough institutional buy power at this level to maintain it? So that's what he's saying. So stablecoin ratio oscillator. Overall, primary interest is capital rotation from stablecoins back into the crypto market. I'll say that's mainly Bitcoin, since all altcoins are reducing in dominance that we just discussed. All of that dry powder sitting on the sidelines has started flowing back in. That's what we're seeing. We're seeing a bit of an uptick of all of that trying to come back into the market. And if you look at before, as soon as we start having some sort of movement here where money flows coming back, stable coins are coming back into the market, it's followed by increase in price action. Just simple, I guess. Again, Bitcoin moving between weak and strong hands. We had a huge sell-off by previous strong hands. Looks like new buyers. We shouldn't call them noob, I guess, but new buyers that bought 1 month to 6 months ago. All of those coins that dumped into the market needs time to be reaccumulated, and this is happening right now. Price action looks like an accumulation bottom because of this. Again, last thing here is the SO. Is it the SOPR? So now let's look at some short range indicators. If we're in a bear market, which is the case from the user growth metrics, then the SOPR resets near the 1 is a great time to buy the dip. Again, meaning, so basically what this ratio is taking is the ratio of coins that moved at a profit, right? So they look at the address, they look at the transaction. This is actually being calculated, and it tells you, hey, this Bitcoin, whatever the case might be, last time it was moved was at the, let's say somewhere at this, last time it was bought was at 57,000, and now it's being sold at 45,000. So the profit to loss, if we divide that, we're in the negative, and it's also taking into account the time frame. So it's telling you majority of coins that were bought newly, fresh, by new people that came in because of the news, bought it at higher prices, are selling it right now at low, and on average, so including even people from before, we're taking that on average. That's what's being plotted here. So in terms of the whole market, it's resetting. it's resetting in terms of those new coins that are being traded at that are being sold right now at loss. On average, we just hit the 1, so it's like neutral in terms of price to profit to loss ratio. So something to keep in mind, guys. So many things. And then again, one thing we gotta add is that economy, and I think he actually also added it somewhere in the bottom here. Let's see, was it here? Overall, Bitcoin, if we maybe just go all the way to the bottom. Yeah, so again, his only concern for downside risk is if we get a major correction in equities, which will pull Bitcoin price downwards, no matter what the on-chain fundamentals may suggest. Noticing USD strength on the DXY, which we just discussed, which suggests some investors moving to safety in the USD. So again, we are talking all these, nice bullish news. Economy is kind of in shambles, and it's coming into fruition more and more. Now these interest rates aren't just rumors. They announced it, and now people are gonna scramble to safety. Is Bitcoin going to prove itself as a store of value? That's the main question the whole market is asking. Is what's it called? Is Bitcoin going to prove itself? If you had your money in, I don't know if you saw Michael Saylor's recent debate. I forgot what the other guy's name was. Very interesting debate. I'll probably post on a Discord. If you're in the Discord, make sure you join. But yeah, just debate whether gold versus Bitcoin, what's been proven and what's not, right? As a store of value. So very nice things, I guess, to see right now. Bullish and bearish news like it's nothing. So again, keep that in mind. And yeah, I guess last thing we want to talk about here. I don't see it being talked about much on the YouTube and the crypto YouTube. I'm not sure why, but I think it's probably the most important thing. Crypto mining in China. That's what drove the market down. If you don't know what crypto mining is, if you don't know how the hash rate works for Bitcoin, how it stays alive, something you really need to know. Because it is important. It's the backbone of Bitcoin as a blockchain, as an entity, as I guess a living being or whatever the case might be, right? 60% of that was in China, guys. 60% of mining was in China because of I guess I don't want to say like unregulated, but less regulated overall power grid. Coal mining, cheap. It's expensive to mine Bitcoin. You have these major facilities that are mining Bitcoin, and they were using coal power in China. And that's what even Elon was talking about. A lot of these big corporations that we want to jump in, right, specifically outside of China, care a lot about sustainability. Those big ones have majority of their shareholders in part of sustainability committees, right? And they care about what their product, their service does for the environment. And if you're a lot of regulations in terms of what your product actually affects the environment, a lot more in the North American market and the European market than in China, right? We all know that. So that's what even Elon was talking about when he had a bit of a point. To be honest, I know everybody's talking about it, whatever, but if you don't know what's happening in China, then you're going to hate Elon for whatever he said, right? So if you know what's happening there and all the crackdowns that happen there and all the talks about Bitcoin, not being energy, if it is, but it's what kind of energy you're using to mine, right? If you're using coal energy, then that's different. If you're using renewable energy, that's perfect. So that's what they're talking about. And even recently, if you guys remember, I'm not going to pull it up right now, even Elon was talking about, look, if Bitcoin proves soon enough that it is 50% at least more sustainable, we're talking about the ESG, environmental, sustainable, and G was G. I forgot what's G. Governance, I guess, is important for the market, right? And if 50% of Bitcoin is now sustainable again, is green, based on, I guess, renewable energy, we're back in. Tesla's going to accept Bitcoin. And he has a point, guys. He has a point. And I think a lot of the people were hating on Elon where didn't understand what's been going on, but he has a message. And we saw now big crackdowns in China on crypto miners. They're taking majority of the grid. And those are in specific provinces, so it's not all in China. And it's painting, a bad image for Bitcoin. So now we're seeing the crackdown happen in China, the drop in the price action, hash rate dropped heavily. We know how much the hash rate is correlated to the price action as well. Bitcoin difficulty decreased for mining. Now we're seeing and to this day, this is still, in my opinion, the most important news out there. Crypto mining, right? And this day, we're seeing more and more crackdowns in China. And I don't see that being talked about much on YouTube. So I just want you to know that this is something if you see someone talking about it without actually including that into their analysis, it's something you gotta be careful of. But anyways, so now we start seeing that migration happen. So if you were listening to live streams, we're talking about very, very on the low. Majority of those miners start to have deals. And I don't know, do I have these, I guess these links here? Mining, MicroStrategy, I don't think so. Maybe I'll I'll try to find them. Guys, there's a lot of, contracts being signed with those, BitTop, I think, is the big crypto miner company. They're migrating to the West, to Europe, and to the States, and specifically Texas, because it's cheaper energy and more renewable energy. So the Texas crypto users right now, I was just talk about it here. Crypto miners eye cheap power in Texas, but fears aired over impact on the grid. Miners dislocated from China's crackdown are looking to Texas for cheap electricity, but the state's grid is already on the brink of disaster amid sweltering summer. Of course, the recent crackdown on crypto mining in China has seen concerns expressed over the potential impact a hash rate migration could have on Texas' unreliable electricity market, as an increasing number of dislocated miners eye the Lone Star State. So are we going to build, more wind farms, more wind turbines, more solar farms? Is that going to happen? And then are we going to start utilizing that? Tesla, is Tesla going to start? We know Tesla has a lot of facilities as well. It's something there in the renewable energy. I heard some rumors, I guess, nothing's solidified yet, but we can start mining. And we can start incentivizing renewable energy to mine Bitcoin, right? So a lot of things you got to keep in mind. So Texas' abundant sources of renewable energy and highly deregulated power grid but it's not as deregulated as what's happening in China. At least they're not using coal, right? Make the state an obvious choice for migrating miners from China and elsewhere, with 20% of Texans' electricity being generated by wind as of 2019. So Texas is not only the cheapest electricity in the U.S., but some of the cheapest on the globe. Every Western mining host I know has had their phones ringing off the hook. Chinese miners or miners that were, I don't even know how to spell this in China, are looking to Central Asia, Eastern Europe, and the U.S. and Northern Europe. Global hash rate has fallen by 1/3 since early May, following reports that China mining industry would be subjected to stricter supervision. They're not subjected stricter. They're getting literally annihilated at the moment. A lot of people are getting their social media accounts as well censored if you're talking about Bitcoin or Bitcoin mining, right? So a lot of hotlines were being set up, and I keep forgetting the name of that province. Inner Mongolia, I think, what it is. Setting up hotlines. If you see any signs of crypto mining, let us know, and we'll show up so quick. That's what they're saying. So a lot of and talking about jail time as well. So the regulator warned that a failure to heed the request could result in a repeat of the widespread winter power failures that left 69% of Texans without electricity and roughly half without water in February, according to BuzzFeed. And don't ever quote BuzzFeed. BuzzFeed, that's crazy. Let me see here. What do we have in the comments? In my honest opinion, Bitcoin is not a store of value or currency. It's a speculative asset. Needs time to mature. Needs more market cap. I agree. Then again, in terms of forecasting, right? No one knew Tesla is gonna be crazy. It's gonna be really lead the market in terms of electric cars, right? So it's in terms of forecast. JF, great content, great honest content. Thank you very much. Appreciate the work. Of course, we actually love doing this. It's fun for us. Yes, Elon's message will help Bitcoin mining towards a more sustainable future. Elon's solar world could surely help Bitcoin go great or green. Yes, I do believe so. I do believe so. That's what the market is usually heading to this past 5 years. So got to keep that in mind. One thing I actually want to talk about here. Overall, again, we talked about what do we have. Sorry if I'm moving crazy through this, but Texas crypto users will soon be able to buy and sell tokens at major supermarket chains. The state is already becoming known for attracting miners and attempting to pass pro-crypto legislation. So that's what we saw. Yes, our boy here, Greg Abbott. Blockchain is a booming industry that Texas needs to be involved in. I just signed a law for Texas to create a master plan for expanding the blockchain industry in Texas. That was a couple weeks ago. So Texas is opening its doors for miners. Oh, I remember. New York. What do we have? Like 4 or 5 days ago, passed the bill. Didn't pass the bill. They were putting it through, saying, yeah, we don't want any mining in New York because Bitcoin mining is very unsustainable. It's not green and blah, 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 and all of that. It got so quickly shut down, very quickly, in New York. So there is obviously lobbying efforts to push Bitcoin and Bitcoin mining. But again, Texas is allowing it, the most cheapest, low, not strict regulations for mining. More push towards wind industry. Is that gonna, it's looking like is everyone eyeing Texas as a hub now as opposed to Inner Mongolia or China? Want to see how that plays out, and I think this is the most important thing. If Bitcoin is actually sustainable, it's gonna be much easier, much easier for adoption to come in. Elon liked it, but again, shut down by shareholders after. It's like, you gotta leave, man. We're in the sustainable and renewable energy sector here. What are you talking about? This is literally being mined by coal. It's dirty money, right? And yeah, we saw a huge shift with what's his name, Elon. So it is true. What he's saying is true, guys. So we gotta stop being a bit naive in the crypto space and actually accept certain things as having their own importance. So yeah, that's what happened in New York, Texas. Everyone's now eyeing Texas. What's going to happen in Texas? How's that going to play out? Are we going to migrate to Bitcoin mining in Texas? We do not know, but it does look like it's in favor, right? So want to see that. So anyways, let me know, guys, if there's anything specific you need me to talk about, any specific chart. I see ticked bullish on the 2-hour chart here. JF is talking about the 2-hour chart. Let's take a look at the 2-hour chart. We are seeing some sort of sideways action still. Again, not crazy volume, but yeah, there's some sort of uptick. That's for sure. You need to get to know Bros token project that is revolutionizing the Brazilian market and cryptocurrencies. Bros token cryptocurrencies, yeah. I don't really know what that is, but we'll definitely take a look at it and check it out, and maybe we'll talk about it. Anything that's revolutionizing things, right? So we had this wedge, guys. Just to maybe quick again, what's happening with Bitcoin, what for you to expect. Again, let me know if there's any specific charts you want me to take a look at. But on the lower time frames here, let's just take a look at the 1 hour. On the lower time frames here, you'll see that this was the wedge we were talking about. Overall, we saw that here specifically. So if I maybe show my indicators again, we go to the daily chart. Overall, we know how important 100 exponential moving average or the daily the simple moving average is. How the 50 moving average as well was important. Again, we don't expect it to fully slash through these price levels. We need to know if not need to know, but we need you'll never just slash through something, even if no matter how bearish you are, right? You're just gonna always find some traders or even bots jumping in at these levels. So when we're far away from an EMA, we always expect to come back down to it. It's like a magnet, and you will see a bit of a fight happen at its level. As soon as you break below it, You always need to come back to retest it. And look how, it's pretty, I don't want to say accurate, but people use averages, right? It's not like some sort of crazy mathematical equation that we're taking into account and this is the model, no, this is the more simple your analysis is of the price action, the better off you are. And I can add so much more to this chart. I can add so much more. I can have angled volume profile, Fibonacci EMAs, and all these crazy, stuff, but simple is the more simpler you keep it, the better off you are. So again, moving averages, we dropped again. This didn't hold us. Found support at the 100. Come back out. Didn't really work. Again, broke below it. Now we're fully below these guys. And now we're getting rejected specifically at them. So now this is what we're sandwiched between, guys, in my opinion. So I'm just going to keep this on the daily chart. When I go to lower time frames, you'll see it. And yes, so let's just go to the daily here. So, and I'll keep this also on the daily. Let's see here as well, daily. So let's go to the 1 hour here, guys, and discuss this. And again, guys, let us know if you guys are actually some sort of, do you guys trade this? Are you guys trading all this? We definitely trade. I love trading. This is how, I guess, my passion for crypto even started. And yeah, we don't really do much trading here on this chart. Again, everyone's, I guess, confident in the crypto space, telling you, I'm hopping on the short, you got to enter and all that. To be honest with you, I'm kind of scared because even we actually do good day trading, but it's actually a bit of a, we don't like just telling you to buy and sell because obviously, it's people's hard-earned money. And, I feel like I want to put more and more importance on you understanding risk management a lot more than just actually making money here, right? So overall, anyways, let me know if that's some sort of content you would like to even see. And then maybe we'll start, day trading live here. So does the DXY not trade over the weekend? Seems weird that it stops when market stops. Polkadot, Solana. Polkadot, Solana, and Corona to the moon might not look too bad, but so far we still get a higher low. So yeah, DXY is closed on. What do we have here? Overall, what do we have? So Nasdaq is stopped. Yeah, all that is stopped. I think it's just DXY is just a representation of the. It's just an index right now, and overall, yeah, market is closed as well. So doesn't trade on the weekend. There you go. So Bitcoin again, what we said a couple days ago, shorts got annihilated here. If you're looking at maybe the 4 hour, you'll see didn't really spend too much time here. This is very bearish. We're expected to at least go down to the low 20s, if anything, after this breakout. We didn't. Accumulation at the 30K, pushed us back into that wedge, and not even that, broke above it, right? A lot of liquidations, a lot of, I don't want to say it, but a lot of new people, a lot of, influenced by the crypto YouTube, go and over leverage their positions without knowing anything about risk management and how to protect their money. Even though if you're leveraged, you can always protect your money. You don't need to lose your whole position. You don't need to be in this position, right? So keep that in mind. You actually do not need to. And someone's just showing you how to trade or how to use a certain exchange without talking to you about certain stop losses, without talking to you about the time frame for you to exit certain trades or swing trades, without telling you where you should dollar cost average while it's going down or have a better leverage position. Be wary of it. It's not something you want to blindly follow. $7 billion got liquidated, not lost money, liquidated, as in like they were in the position and got annihilated. The not enough money to continue this trade, right? So tells you a lot about how mature or immature the crypto market is, with all these new people flocking in, and all these other people, other channels telling you to blindly follow certain things and showing you that, hey, we made a lot of money here. You can too, but they're making money off of you. So this is the sad truth, but just make sure you understand it. So we said we broke above this. We are expecting some sort of resistance at this level, 4 hour. We saw it right here. If you remember the live stream, we're talking about the MACD ticking down. We said that we're going to visit this line as a first stop. And if it doesn't hold, then the major support we're going to have is this guy. This extremely well established resistance. This has been there since May 20th. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, in my opinion, because we broke out of it when we actually jumped. So we know now we need to prove, is it a support? Now we said the longer Bitcoin actually takes to actually come back to hit it, the lower Bitcoin price action will be, because this is slanted. So the longer time, the longer we're going to take to actually come back and see it. Now we're exactly at it. Are we going to have buyers jump in? That's the main question. Do we do we have enough buyers jumping in? We need to see that. But we're seeing some sort of reaction right now, so that's pretty good. $36,000 or $35,000 we saw buyers jump in. All right, so is that gonna work nicely in the market? We don't know yet, but we're seeing Bitcoin Cash up already 2%. US, the market is kind of green right now, not a lot. Ren up, Crows up, ICX is up, Trias, Matic is up 2%. So we're seeing Bitcoin is having a bit of a movement right now. So we need to see if buyers actually do jump in. That's what we're saying, support line. And yeah, again, indicators are looking a bit more soon enough bullish on the daily time frames. MACD, we're obviously using that momentum, but the RSI is so in. We got to the oversold region. We've been in an overbought since January, beginning of the year. We've been downtrending, and we're reaching areas where we're all the way in the bottom, expecting to move up soon, right? So keep that in mind. Anyways, forget about Bitcoin, man. Whew, what are we gonna talk about here? I lost my breath, guys. Amazing content, really appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Chester Adlin saying PP Kaka Poo Poo. Thank you for the $2 donation. What a great way to donate. I appreciate it. So again, Alex wanted Polkadot and Solana, and someone else as well. So let's take a look at that. So Polkadot, and so this is what we're thinking, guys. Soon in the live stream, I want to have something here where it's showing you somewhere on the side. Maybe we'll have some sort of a voting system, and that just automated easily picks up what your comments are, and we'll see what the majority of the people actually want to. So we'll have some sort of ranking of what's the most asked chart is, and we'll go there just to be fair for everybody, for the whole 130 viewers watching us. So yeah. So anyways, Polkadot, Solana, I'll end the live stream, and then we'll most likely again go live later through the day here. So make sure you stay tuned. So .USDT, Binance. Let's see here. So what's DOT? So today DOT is still minus 1.3%. Still didn't follow the market yet, I guess. We are down 1.30%. We're stuck in this. You see, the whole market is stuck in this, I guess, wedge or range. Everything is range bound. And yeah, overall, Polkadot soon enough is going to get squeezed. So for this, us looking at the daily chart, we're seeing that resistance as well. Following Bitcoin's price action, you're seeing coins following Bitcoin's price action. Others aren't. These lower, I guess, cap coins, or these less known coins, or the more volatile coins, like VeChain, for example, follows exactly what Bitcoin is doing. Other ones like Polkadot, Cardano hold their levels, still drop, but not as bad as the other ones. So Polkadot right now is 21.12 dollar. We expect to see some sort of support here. This is us looking like pretty quick to it. We're seeing that we are, again, looks very similar to Bitcoin's, right? Overall, in terms of, even if I take all of this here, you'll see what I'm talking about. Again, January, just like Bitcoin, we had wedges. As soon as we broke above, really skyrocketed, start to fluctuate with everything that's going on with Polkadot, or developments coming up, Kusama, testnet, everything, just the whole ecosystem. Everyone is excited for it. We're seeing that fluctuation happen, and right now we're back at those levels we had back in January. We saw some sort of accumulation. Again, is that going to hold or no? Overall, we are at some sort of a support right now. We do expect it, and again, since Bitcoin is having a bit of a more buyers jumping into the market, that might in my opinion will also add to the fact that Polkadot could go back up somewhere close to the $24. But what you need to keep in mind for looking maybe a bit more short, mid range, not too short time frames, I would say the next week for Polkadot are decisive, and soon enough here this resistance and this support are going to meet, and buyers or sellers would have to jump into the market. And yeah, someone is going to have to make that first move. Overall, again, I would say, in my opinion, bearish pattern. We downtrend into a symmetrical wedge. You're expected to downtrend out of it, just like what Bitcoin had right here. Symmetrical wedge, drop. As soon as it goes, went all the way down. Again, this was I would say, in my opinion, it was still a trap, but we could have the same thing with Polkadot. So keep that in mind. This is very shorter, I guess, time frame, but I would say for us to reach that apex, it's looking like, like 13 days or a couple of weeks. So I would expect the next couple of weeks for Polkadot to be range bound within this, but anything above this or below this is going to catalyze that action really higher up, really low. But with everything going on with Polkadot and Kusama, now everything's being developed. You know what Kusama is capable of, $48, and right now it's at a nice discount, right? So it depends on what risk you're trying to take right now. It's 55% sale. A lot of people would look at it as a sale. Other people would look at it as like, I'm out of the market. I don't want this no more. This is for Polkadot. Hope that helped. Let me know if it didn't. So yeah, I guess I can go cry in the corner. Again, so was it Polkadot and Solana, I believe? Let's see here. Solana, yes. Solana. That's what I noticed with Solana, by the way. It was always a there was a lot more appetite usually. So it could be just traders liking how Solana moves in terms of price action. But then again, every time Bitcoin has a bit of a upward movement, I used to see Solana I used to see Solana right away jump 5-10%. So there was more appetite for Solana, 100%. So overall, again, all-time highs. We're at the $58 for Solana. Right now, let me take off all the subjective things so you guys don't grill me, I guess. But overall, again, just like Matic as well, you start seeing, the more you look at those charts, you start seeing how the market moves. And again, we keep talking about it. I know not a lot of people like the price action or just looking at the charts, but it's good to actually have some sort of idea, gauge the market, where it's going to come in. Do you want to buy here at the top? I don't think anybody wants to. How can you time that? With the news, fundamentals, how would you actually time that if you're not looking at the chart, right? If you're not looking at the price. So there's some sort of conflicting, I guess, outlook on how to... People that like fundamentals, sure, and people that like the price action, sure. But if you like the fundamentals and you actually entered at, at the peak, 58 or whatever the case might be, you're losing your mind right now, right? So maybe you should have looked at the charts, in my opinion. I think that's what a well-rounded, quote-unquote, crypto non-noob would do, right? So don't hate too much on the price action because it definitely gauges the market. It tells you a lot of people are trading this. So overall, you see this. Clearly, you can identify support zones and resistance zones. This is not rocket science. You can do it as well, but don't put a lot of your money in there. You can easily identify supply zones, supply top, demand is on the bottom. Demand is where buyers try to typically come in. 1, 2, 3. All right, solidified, good. I know where buyers on the short term come in. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I guess. That's where buyers are also coming in. So we're uptrending into this. We see here, supply and demand gets squeezed. As soon as we break above it, if you want, we can go to the 1 hour. As soon as you break above it, where was it? Where did it go? Right here. We identify it. As soon as we break, we skyrocket. Continue to move upwards, right? So that's what happened. And again, same thing. Goes up, rallies really high up, takes a bit of a movement sideways or some time for it to consolidate. Again, identify where the sells are at, where the buyers are at, break above, continue to move upwards. And this thing was just absolutely killing it. All-time highs of 58. Right now we're here, right? This is where we're at. So in my opinion, I can see a clear floor or a demand zone where I'm seeing buyers come in here, 34, 35 region. And I can see where sellers are a bit, there is a ceiling closer to 43. But then again, now that, we just had some sort of a, lower highest previously. Buyers didn't really push it all the way back up here. So there is a weakness. Market is bearish. Sentiment is bearish. And people are scared. So is Solana gonna be the one, you know, you're gonna hold on to, even if you know your money's kind of losing value and all that? I don't know, but it's definitely something. It's definitely an interesting project. It's definitely adding to the crypto space, but how is that gonna play out when people are scared? That's different. Everybody, not everyone acts rationally when the market is down, right? And people react more to declining prices than upward prices. Price action, sorry. You know, fear drives more. When you're scared, you do more irrational things. So clear floor here, which we're close to. We want to see those buyers jump in at the 34. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 times where buyers came in. Perfect. So even when we're here, you'll take this. Sorry, here, you'll take this. You're like, okay, so I know where buyers are. And even if we didn't, even if we're all the way at the top, if I'm saying, oh, okay, I'm getting some sort of resistance, where am I going to head to next, in my opinion? All right, well, I know I'm going down here because of this. I do expect some buyers to come in. So this is the floor. Now, again, if I were saying, again, short term, let me just go to the 4 hour. This is all short term. Buyers are trying to come in. You see that indecisive candle over here. So if I zoom in maybe a bit, you'll see that after a drop, once we start seeing something like this, it's telling you that the market is indecisive. We're seeing long candles here showing dominance of sellers. Opening, closing price is it's just so far away on the 4 hour, telling you that sellers were in complete control. Volume is higher than average here. The blue line is the average, and the MACD was down, and RSI was somewhere in the neutral. So overall bearish sentiment. Then we get the support zone, and we have this, where we have a very narrow bodied candle, where we pushed up. Again, there's still sells in the market, not enough to say still that we're having that support. Pushed all the way up, sells came back in, but then again, we didn't push below, right? So you need to keep that in mind. So this is an indecisive candle. When you see this after a downtrend or an uptrend, expect a reversal, and boom, you see how that signaled to the market the next 4 hour that, hey, you know, we should be, you know, buyers are in the market. So, and we had a nice 4% uptick. So right now we are seeing that buyers are trying to come in. They're still it's still in a limbo because of what Bitcoin's doing, but I do expect Solana to get back up and at least test this resistance and then get stuck here for a bit. And then sometime soon we'll see it heading towards, you know, an apex where again demand and supply will meet, and yeah, we uptrended into this. I expect the uptrend out of it, and again, Bitcoin will completely dominate the price action. So keep that in mind. But on a short term, if you want to wait, I would say wait till we reach the apex. Wait till we actually have some sort of resistance, clearly identified resistance. But if you want to know, $34, $35 region is where buyers are coming in. So are you going to be one of those? I'm losing my breath. I need Brendan here, guys. Holy. What do we have? Great show. Crypto lover 2010. Thank you. Alex P. Thanks. aMillionortheMoon Messin. Appreciate it. BidMoon, $1.99 donation. Appreciate it. Can you look at XLM chart? You know what? Let's look at XLM. Let's see what we got here. Where we at? Up, excellent. Boom. So holy, I got too many lines. Way too many lines here. Too many. It's a painting, guys. That's how you should look at it. It's an art piece. So right now, Stellar, USDT. We're sitting at 30 cents exactly. Oh, I bet you if we drop below this, it's definitely dropping heavy. We're up 1% or 0.91%. We're actually all the way at the low. So let me take all of this to show you how we develop a nice chart, because I haven't really looked at it in a long time. Maybe let's just show the VPVR as well. Boom. So VPVR is showing us where those main support or main reactive zones, there where we see typically buyers come in or jump in, or sellers have some sort of, I would say, like some sort of a fight, right? So now there's the peak over here, and usually if we're going down into these peaks, I would put my like support or line somewhere below it, because we don't have the fight here. We have the fight like a bit after. If we just pass this, and then you see how we have some sort of a valley here, and price action will zoom back in here. or you're not having a loss. So these peaks would be driven by the level, the price level, and these here would be driven by the interest, in my opinion, right? Where if there's a bit more sellers in the market, if you're in this area and there's a bit more sellers in the market, that's telling you that this region over here, not a lot happens in terms of volume or trading activity. You're gonna free fall to the next level. So this is just mainly, even if there's, it's illiquid, there's a bit less, there's just a bit of buying or selling interest, you're gonna zoom through these valleys or to get to this next peak, and then vice versa. So right now we are exactly at that level, and expect the battle to happen. We're literally exactly where the peak is, and highly price reactive level. Obviously, it's the 30 cent is a psychologically important, I guess, number for a lot of traders as well. We're looking at the daily. Daily is very, very, very indecisive. We still have 8 hours to go for the day. Closer to the end of the day here. Not a lot of going on here. Why? Because it is at a support level, and we've been downtrending. So sellers were in complete control, and now everybody even stops selling. Be like, "Ooh, maybe buyers are trying to come in. Let me exit my short position, right? Let me exit my short positions. Kind of have a bit of a just let me sit on the sideline for a bit. I've been shorting this. I've been shorting it from the top. I've been down. I've been up 57% in profit. So maybe this is a nice level to actually sell, because I do expect some sort of rebound or buyers coming in. So this is where we're at, right? If I start to see XLM at least go below the, what do we have here, the 27 cent, then I expect even more buyers to come in. But if that doesn't hold and Bitcoin has another, continued down movement, and we don't see buyers to come in on Bitcoin, I expect this to drop easily back down to the next level, 20 cent, right? So we do have a floor, previously supported. Again, this right here, we'll look at the historical data. You'll see where we actually had some sort of a breakout where supply and demand met. As soon as we broke out of it, we push up. Perfect. Highly reactive zone. Let me see where that lies here. Oh, we're at it. I do expect buyers to come in. Simple. I don't complicate it. You don't have to complicate it. It's simple. We're at some sort of zone that's highly reactive. We're struggling against it. If Bitcoin actually has a bit of a movement downwards and continues to downtrend, in my opinion, I would exit any long position. But right now, looks like, indecisive. We've been downtrending. It's a bit indecisive. That's a nice sign to see at a heavily supported level. Expect some sort of reversal. I do expect that. And I do expect it to at least try to get back up to the 37 cent region to meet this guy over here. And we'll see how that plays out. But I'll just like to go to the 4 hour and see how that has been developing as well. Clearly identify those levels. I would say, again, pretty clear resistance right here, right? It's not rocket science. You can do it as well. 1, 2, 3. So pretty clear where those sells are coming in. And literally the last level I would be looking at somewhere here, right? We're at that. We want Stellar to make a move soon. It will make a move soon. A break above this, I would say let's just break above the 31, 32 cent. And I would see easily buyers try to come back in and push it to the 37 cent region. If that doesn't hold and we break below, this is pretty clear where it's at, then I would easily see how this thing can easily drop back down to these levels over here. So that's what I think is happening in my opinion. But if it does actually go up, then we're pretty familiar with what XLM can do. So we'll go back up 37. Again, a lot of resistance ahead of us. But again, the whole market is in the limbo, and we need to take that into account. So, nice show, bro. Could you please show BTC again for the short term? Yeah, we'll take a look at that. Chester. Again, wow. See, this is a better donation, I guess. Papa, Poo, Kiki, whatever you had before. It's pretty, this is more formative, I guess. But again, thank you for the $5 donation. Should I 100x YOLO leverage all my life savings into Doge and meet the crypto gods in Nirvana? 100%. If you can sell your kidney too, that's a bonus. Chester. Again, thank you for the donation. Alex P. What do we have here? Hi. What about Doge and BNB, please? Since Elon Musk's stupid show the coin, just correct without any sign of bullish recovery. Joshua, nice to see the live streams coming. Enjoy your evening, mate. Joshua, you too, man. Still noon here, man. Still in the morning. Not going anywhere. We got all day. But anyways, Doge and okay, so maybe I'll just end it with BNB here. I'm losing my breath. I need to work on my stamina, I guess. BNB, USDT, and then we'll end this live stream again, guys. Like this so far, make sure you press that like button. And yeah, thank you for all the donations. Thank you for listening to this boring guy on YouTube. BNB. What have it dropped? And I don't know if you guys have been watching the news with Binance. You know, there's a bunch of things going on in terms of a bit of some lawsuits or traders having a bit of like a committee to gang up on Binance. Some things have been happening. Binance has these coins where I don't know if you've seen it, but you have I don't know, like link up, link down, BNB up, BNB down, Bitcoin up, Bitcoin down. And those are created by Binance. And what typically happens if you're buying into the BNB down coin, you're betting on Binance's coin that lose value. So the chart, this going down. If this goes down, BNB down goes up. So it is. I don't know if it's a bit confusing, and sorry if it is, but it's actually something big with Binance right now that you need to keep in mind. So Bitcoin down. So let's see this one right here. BNB down. If Bitcoin actually, if Binance coin goes down, this thing starts to go up. So it's like you're betting on the actual Binance coin itself. And yeah, at one point that was not the case apparently. And some traders that Binance coin did drop, but BNB down also dropped. Were supposed to go up. People were supposed to make money. Then something got locked. Anyways, huge back and forth going on. So if something that interests you, 100% check it out. But yeah, again. Let's look at the daily again. Everything we just looked at, guys, is very indecisive. It's very in the limbo. Very a tight price range. 34 on the daily, the 33, 331. So really indecisive market so far. It's off 0.5%, but you're seeing it happen in front of you right now. And again, if we zoom out, we're looking at the VPVR. We're at we're expecting to see support. We're expecting to see this happen. Again, same thing. Back in January levels, February, March levels, not January, but beginning of the year. Supply and demand exactly here. This is where we saw that drop happen, drop to here, found support at it, buyers came in and bought it. Now we're trying to get back to it. So in my opinion, again, with everything is in the limbo, but I would not, if you're trying to buy this now, I mean, if you're betting on the market actually going up, I wouldn't put 100% of my money in this. Put maybe like 10%, because a drop is still highly likely. But you can see how here on a short term. So if we go to the 4-hour, on a short term, we did actually form a some sort of level here where buyers are coming in. So again, soon enough here, someone will have to make a move. We do have a lot of resistance ahead of us. But anything I would say maybe above the $380 or 300, I would say, yeah, 380, 390 signals for the market that BNB wants to go up. And anything it break below these levels, specifically, in my opinion, 300 is going to push us back down to these lower levels. So we want the market to speak to us first. And we'd have a plan for both the upside or the downside. If you're shorting, it's funny, but I'm actually more comfortable shorting the market than actually having a bit of a. I'm more comfortable actually trading shorts, which is a pretty, I guess, funny but yeah, I guess that's where my comfort is. I can easily, because I know the market actually reacts more to fear than actually those breakouts to the top we have. So that's, I guess, where I've been finding more of my success trading. But then again, overall, you have planned for both up and down. If you're in this right now and you're trying to see, okay, so what's Binance going to do? If you start seeing it dip below the 300, maybe it's time for you to kind of take some profits in your position. If you bought at the top and now you're here, maybe it's time for you to actually cut on losses when you should actually cut on losses here at the top, right? But again, risk management is very important, guys. Very extremely important. And watching the chart, just watch the chart on your own. Try to do this on your own exercise, and you'll actually end up predicting certain price ranges that actually where you know the market is going to react to 100%. So again, any drop below this is range bound. Again, not a lot of liquidity, low volume, very indecisive. Anything can happen. But then again, important price levels, in my opinion, for the short term. If we break below this, we're most likely going to the 300. And if the 300 doesn't hold, then yeah, we're dropping back to lower levels, 100%. But if we go above this, again, buyers come in a bit more aggressively. We're going to face that resistance at the 380, 390. If we go above that, I think it's going to signal at least above this high here. It's going to signal to the market. Expect buys to come in. Expect to go back up to the 480, mid 400 to the 480s. And also depends on what Bitcoin wants to do. So that will definitely be a bonus. What do we have here? Nice to see the live streams come. Enjoy your evening. I guess already. What's your opinion on Engine? I don't really know much about Engine, to be honest. So much to learn about. So I'll just be pretty honest. Corey, again, so we have $5 donation. Is it possible to get VeChain to do dollars in this run? Again, thank you for the donation. Appreciate it. You know what, man? Let's look at VeChain. Let's look at VeChain. VeChain. Like, I think literally all of our audience is in VeChain. Everybody watching is one way, shape, or form is in VeChain. Again, for our VeChain, been watching VeChain closely. We have this here also that just a bit of news. This was put out a couple of days ago by VeChain Foundation. Something with them also being involved in more and more in the whole in the health industry, tracking and all that, where we know quality assurance and control is very important. And you know, you'd rather trust an algorithm instead of what someone actually, instead of like a human. But anyways, a lot here for VeChain to talk about. I'm not gonna get fully into this, but I'm just gonna copy and paste it for you here, which is not letting me for some reason. So I'll just keep it in the description. You know what? I'll actually just add it right now so I don't forget. But read up on it. If you're in VeChain, read up on it. It's actually hard to get news for VeChain these days, and because it's so far away also, right? They had an AMA soon recently. So VeChain article. So I just put the link in the description, guys. Check it out. It was actually put by the VeChain Foundation, and it's pretty interesting, but it's just summarizing what VeChain's been doing. But anyways, for our chart, we're at the support. Overall, you remember talking about VeChain here, we drew this back in I don't know when, and we said any break below this line, we're dropping heavy. And guess what happened? Any drop without this line, you know, below this line, it dropped us heavy. You know, we dropped from the 13 point some cents all the way back down to the 0.09 cent, 25% drop. We're looking right here at the 200 EMA on the 4 hour. And again, as soon as we got to it, it's like a magnet. You don't have to fully touch it, but as soon as you start getting close to it, it's gauging. Like, hey, by the way, watch out. Buyers might come in soon. So people start to leave a bit earlier, right? Again, went back up, got rejected off the 55 EMA. And again, got rejected off of it. We're getting squeezed. We know where the floor is. We know that this is a floor, that Pen-cent region, psychological number, and the fact that it's where the EMA is on the 4 hour, the 200 EMA. And yeah, now we're like heavily getting, you know, sellers are more aggressive. We just had a bearish breakout below this 55 drop. 55 has been squeezing us. Soon enough here, if we're going to continue in this level, 55 EMA again will continue to squeeze. This is the slope we're looking at, and this guy, because it's slower, the 200 EMA is going to kind of continue to go this way, and we're going to get squeezed soon enough. So any break below this level, to be safe, I would say that 0.092 is, if we break below it, I would expect it to go to the next level below this pattern, which is this over here, 6 point some cents. And if that doesn't hold, expect somewhere here on the bottom where this is the January level. This is a very nice heavy support, in my opinion. So this is where VeChain is at. Everything is literally in the make it or break it zone. We drop below this. You're in VeChain. You're in VeChain, but you're on profit. If you were all the way here, I would say take some profits. Not, I guess, financial advice, which I actually hate saying that because literally everybody's giving advices, but I guess legality behind it. Not a financial advice. We're getting squeezed soon. And these are the levels you should be looking at if this actually goes below. If you entered, again, sadly, whatever the case might be, if you're new, it's a learning curve, I guess. You investing in all that, everybody loses money, but it's all about, you know, where you're going to end up learning about and taking it as a lesson, right? When you're at the top here and you're killing it and you're really making money, don't get too greedy. Take some profits to cover your initial investment at least. If you're all the way here, you're looking at this now, hoping for it to go above. In my opinion, if it goes below here, if I was you, I would be cutting my losses. I don't like staying for long. This hodl till death. I don't know what it is. This culture in the crypto space, hodl and don't. Man, no, it's not the way to go. It's just it's more of a lazy position you're having. You know, oh, we dropped, but I'm gonna leave it for the next 20 years. No, don't you want to pay the bills at the end of the day? Right? So when we're up heavily like that, man, take some profits. It's okay. It's okay. That's why the whole market is so volatile, because no one's willing to sell unless, you know, we drop 50-60% when you should have sold somewhere here, you know. But then again, depends on your horizon and how long you want to invest and if you actually like the technology. But anyway, so this is what I'm thinking for VeChain. Any drop below this, again, these lower levels, expect a heavier drop. Keep an eye out on Bitcoin. Bitcoin actually goes back up, where again, someone was asking for the short term. We're at a support level. If you see buyers start to step back in on the 4-hour chart, we're seeing them try to step back in. If that does not work and we still get rejected at least off the 55 EMA, then expect everything we just discussed on the upside or the downside. Expect the downside. If Bitcoin right now is at a very support level, it's the first time we actually came back down to retest, and we were talking about this for a whole week, saying we expect some sort of a drop. First stop is here. We saw some buyers try to come in, nothing crazy, but the next stop is 100% this guy over here, and we're seeing it. There's Bitcoin going to break above. We're at the 4-hour. We're gaining some momentum. We're seeing that, you know, the stochastic RSI wants to go up. And if you think about it, this is the 4-hour. MACD's all the way in the bottom, coupled with stochastic and RSI in oversold region, is usually a nice recipe for a pump or an uptrend. You'll see it here as well. MACD's all the way here. Starts to have a bit of a, you know, just a bit of an uptick. A stochastic is all the way in the bottom, with the RSI is all the way in the bottom, oversold. Nice movement. Let's just pick anything randomly here. For example, MACD is all the way in the bottom, starts to uptick. Our stochastic RSI is all the way in the bottom. We have a movement. Same thing here. I don't want to keep repeating myself, I guess, but as soon as we start have the MACD go above, MACD's been stagnating here in the bottom. Stochastic, as soon as stochastic goes to the bottom, boom, we move upwards. So again, recipe, same thing. Are we having the same ingredients for these pumps? Let's see how that plays out, but we definitely have more probability of a pump back up than a drop, since we are at a support level, and that's for the short term for whoever was asking. Woo. So anyways, guys, I guess I'll just end it here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being a part of this. This has been fun. Thank you for the donations. Again, check out the links in the description. Join our Discord. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. If you've been a subscriber, again, welcome back again. See a lot of names that have been here for a minute. Yeah, we appreciate you guys watching. So make sure you stay tuned. I'm done. I need to continue drinking my coffee and my cold brew. And yeah, let us know. Maybe at the end of the day here, we'll go live again or put out something for you. But make sure you join the Discord to stay tuned with everything happening. And I'm done here. I don't know what else to say. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day.